So, Max, how old are you and how many cars have you flipped?
I just turned 20 about a week ago, and I've had 192 cars now. It's crazy.
Wow. Hey everyone, Mike Rosehart here, talking to you guys today about flipping cars. No, not flipping houses, flipping cars. That's right. And I'm here with Max.
Yes, from Indiana, I drove about 6 hours up to London, Ontario to help Mike move into his newest house, and I want to share my flipping car story with all of you.
Yeah, seriously, the audience needs to hear from this guy. So, Max, how old are you and how many cars have you flipped?
I just turned 20 about a week ago, and I've had 192 cars now. It's crazy.
Wow. So, walk the audience through how you go about flipping a car and how did you get to 192 I remember you were 19 when we first met, and it was, you flipped well over 100 cars. That's super impressive.
Yeah, so it started when I was 15 working at Dairy Queen, and my coworker needed to sell her car super fast, and so I solved her problem by giving her cash for her old car that she didn't want anymore. I cleaned it up, marketed it well, and ended up selling it for double what I bought it for. So I made a huge profit off of that. That got me hooked, and I just started doing it from there.
You guys don't know this. I haven't shared it, I don't think, on here before, other than maybe on a Wise Wealth Wednesday. But I used to flip cars too. When I was 16 years old, some of my first transactions were buying undervalued cars, doing some small cosmetic repairs to them, and then marketing them much better to unlock a profit. And you can often spend $1,000 into a car and sell it for $2,000, making a profit of nearly
100%.
like 100% return on your investment and $1,000 quick profit in say a couple of days.
Right, maybe a week. So super easy.
So you're telling me off camera we were having a little chat about some of the cars you'd recently flipped and your current inventory of cars. Can you share with the audience some of your better deals?
Yeah, so just about 2 weeks ago, I picked up a Mini Cooper. It was an '04 with 108,000 miles, so give or take 160 kilometers, I believe. Anyway, I bought that for $1,700 from a college student who wanted to get rid of it and pay for his textbooks, his tuition. And then I ended up selling it for $3,300 a week later after just polishing the headlights.
Wow. And so you literally just buff the headlights a little bit, clean things up inside, give it a good vacuum, some
Right.
good marketing pictures, put it
That
up
was
there,
it.
and wow, you just doubled your money. I wanted to have this on the channel because, well, one, it's a great evolution, I think, for flipping and getting into real estate. Cars are much cheaper and the renovations are much, there's lower barriers to entry than, say, in real estate. In real estate, you're dealing with hundreds of thousands, but in cars, you're dealing with a few $1,000s, and the turnover can be much quicker, where a renovation on a property might take months.
Maybe even years.
Yeah, like a car can take days. So it's a great gateway, I think, into flipping anything, because at the end of the day, success in flipping relies on very similar fundamental principles. Whether you're flipping a car or flipping a house, there's the same strategies tend to work, right?
Right. And I was just going to say it's the same thing. You're buying an undervalued, underutilized asset, doing strategic upgrades or renovations, and then marketing it really well to sell it to the end buyer.
Now I can imagine if you could finance the car, if you could borrow at like prime interest rate on cars, and you could refinance.
That would be crazy.
Oh, that would be.
You would make so much money if you could scale that large. That would be
I could just imagine, like,
wild.
that's the beauty of real estate, is that you can leverage and borrow so much money. But I think a great gateway, a lot of people on my channel watching me are 15, 16, 17 years old. You can't buy real estate until you're legally 18 years of age here in Canada. I think it's similar in the United States.
I believe so.
So a lot of guys are talking to me and saying, and girls, and they're reaching out and saying, how can I get started with flipping properties? How can I get my first property? And I think potentially a lot of the skills of flipping cars could be a
Learn
great
at flipping
gateway.
Cars.
Yeah, start with what? Just go out there and take a look at how do you get started? What's the secret?
So for me, I wouldn't dump too much money into my initial purchase. Just get something that you see on the road all the time, like a Honda Civic or just an economical gas-saving vehicle that pretty much everyone would drive, and try to do cosmetic upgrades. They're simple, anyone can do them. Put seat covers on, vacuum out the interior, buff the headlights, really simple stuff. You can just look up a YouTube tutorial on how to do it. I didn't go to a trade school. I don't know how to really wrench or work on cars. I've only looked up YouTube videos and taught myself.
I find it fascinating that you can buy a car for And often these people are just getting rid of the car because one of the cars I got didn't start, for instance. It was just a bad battery, $100, and the problem was fixed. The car starts, and so I got this car for $800. You put a battery into it, it's now worth $2,400 or $2,500 in many cases. You can triple your money in such a short amount of time. And I think people reach out to me and they say, Mike, I don't have enough money for a house, but I have $5,000 saved or $10,000 saved. How do I go about learning about real estate and learning the principles that I'm going to need to succeed in real estate, but still make some money now? And I don't want to trade in stocks. This might be your thing. And this guy is the guy to talk to when it comes to flipping cars. You said you're working on a series of videos
right now. Yeah, so I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel. I already have one video posted. You can maybe link my channel in the description.
Link in the description his YouTube channel. He's just getting started, so if you want to give him a sub, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I'm working on a course as well, and you can just reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. We'll link all of my social profiles in the description.
So we're talking about all the butterflies and the rainbows associated with flipping cars, and we've both of us have had some really great success, I think, starting with flipping some cars and making some money. Can you talk about some bad experiences maybe?
Yeah.
I personally have a story. When I was 18 years old, I bought a car. The power steering rack wasn't good in it. We had to fix it, and I traded that car actually for another car, and that car, one of the gaskets on the engine actually blew. And that was kind of happening while I was driving it, and I didn't know. No. And I ended up taking a loss in that. I ended up breaking even in total because a couple good trades led up to that, but I lost all the profit I'd made. So that's an example of you can lose money even doing this if you aren't very careful.
Right. And so actually just today, maybe 3 hours ago, back home, my father sold one of my cars, and it was a Honda Civic that I bought probably 3 hours away. And as I was driving it home, like 15 minutes after I bought it, the engine blew up on the highway. And so I had to go home, get a trailer, come back, pick up the car, take it back home. And I only ended up losing a couple $100, which for having a car that blew up on me isn't too bad, just because I bought it so smart. And so I was able to protect myself because of that. But yeah, it's definitely not all rainbows and sunshine. I've had plenty of losses, but it's all in the game. It's ups and downs. You win some, you lose some, and usually, at least in my experience and yours with homes, you come out on top.
And that's the key, guys. Not every deal is going to be perfect. The piece of information to take away from this is that if you do this consistently with, say, 10 vehicles, the model will work and you will end up making a profit. Buying smart is one of the key success factors, obviously.
Definitely.
Knowing how to market the vehicle properly would help a lot too. Can you talk to us? So what kind of volume are you doing on, say, like a monthly basis? In the last month, what kind of inventory have you bought and what kind of have you turned over?
Right. So when I was just starting, I would do maybe a car a month at most. And then recently I came home to do a semester of online school. And then I decided I wanted to be really busy while everyone else was in their traditional school, at college, going to parties, whatever. I was like, I'm going to be hustling if I'm not just going to parties. And so I really ramped up the car game, and I've been shooting for about one a week at minimum.
I love that one a week. I'm also shooting for one a week right now, but properties. I want to talk for the audience about why I had Max Carg on my channel, because we actually met at ORAC last year, and you're kind of telling me about some of your plans and some of the things that you were interested in. And I think the audience would benefit a lot from a guy with not only the drive that you have, because man, I see myself in you in a lot of ways. You have a really awesome passion for financial independence. I can see that. You have great morals, great ethics, and you're very driven. And that's something I think in like 5-10 years, look out for this guy. He's gonna be unreal.
Somewhere.
So tell me a little bit about your backstory and share with the audience kind of where you come from and what makes you special.
So I actually want to get into the future a little bit more. I came up to London and we were talking about this. I don't have any real estate at the moment, but I want to get into some sort of property somehow. So we were looking at options where I want to move, and we've decided that rent hacking might be my best method to get started. And so I'm thinking about rent hacking even a penthouse. We'll see if that ends up going through, and using Airbnb to offset the rental cost.
We were talking off camera about your story and your background and how you kind of grew up in the Midwest, and you've always sort of gravitated towards frugality and entrepreneurship. Can you tell the audience a bit about
For sure.
how you found fire and what your kind of plans are?
Yeah, so growing up, I was always entrepreneurial. I flipped Peruvian flutes at my farmer's market. I bought them online, and that was really my first endeavor. And then I also picked berries, made jam, and sold that there as well. And then in high school, I sold the most candy bars for a fundraiser, and that got to pay for not only my trip to Chicago, which is about 3 hours away, a school trip, but also I think 3 or 4 other students. And so I've always been driven in an entrepreneurial or business regard. And then it would have been my senior year in high school, so 2016, when I found out and started diving really deeply into minimalism and frugality. And I found that those values really align with, I guess, the values that I have intrinsically. And so rather than spending all of the profit that I make on the cars on some Gucci bags or on a penthouse, I'm trying to hack it so I can do it in the most fire way possible.
And I like that. And we were talking also about, the principles of fire and your plan to reach financial independence. And I like that you come at it from a different angle than a lot of people. A lot of folks will, they'll take the college or university route, then they'll work in a job they don't like as a desk jockey for 5-10 years, and then they'll finally pull the trigger and pull the parachute on fire, and they'll be financially independent. But you're coming at it from a different way, and I think a way that might appeal to the audience quite a lot. So you were actually in school, right? You were taking...
Correct. I just this semester dropped out of college because it was so soul-sucking for me. I decided if I don't now, when will I ever decide enough is enough? And so even though I may have been able to qualify for a mortgage more easily if I had a traditional job, or gotten a traditional job more easily if I had a degree, it was just too much on me. I don't think that I'm employable in a traditional sense. And so in that regard, I decided to kind of go on my own and do my own thing.
It's really impressive, and feel free if you don't want to share it on camera, but you flipped, how many cars it is exactly?
192.
192, so 192 cars, and you average maybe $1,000 profit on a car?
That's what I shoot for now. I didn't early on.
Oh, okay.
I would shoot for about making a few hundred per flip, and of course there are losers as well. So there have been big hits in that. It's not like I have $192,000 profit from all of these. But I've done better than most other people my age.
Okay, and you've saved. You're telling me off camera you've saved a large portion of what you've earned because you're very
Correct.
frugal and focused on driven on fire. For someone your age, like I remember being at 19 and you having saved tens of thousands and flipped all these cars. That's an amazing feat. There aren't a lot of people who at 19 are that ambitious.
Right.
There are people who might be flipping cars and making $1,000 a week, but they're not saving at such a high percentage the way you are. And I think that's going to be in your favor to kind of catapult the journey.
Term.
Yeah, like $1,000 saved now is like $10,000 when you're 45, right? With the value of compound interest and time value of money, right? And I think Max understands that at such a young age, and there is so much power in finding the principles of time value of money and understanding frugality in the beginning of your journey, where it's most important when you're very young, that it's going to have a huge impact. This guy, we're going to see him be a millionaire, I'm sure, by the time he's 25.
Yeah.
Probably before
That's
that.
the goal, 23.
23 is the goal. He's going to beat
Mike.
I love it. And I hope you do, honestly.
Yeah.
We'll do more collab videos as well.
Definitely.
I think, to follow your journey and track your progress along the way. But I love the thing that I think is really awesome is that you want to get into flipping houses, but you love to travel. You've been big into traveling all around. You did a road trip all across the U.S. Yeah, like you were just in your car. You just drove, right? And you drove everywhere, all the way to Hawaii, everywhere, right?
For school. Yep.
And this, you're traveling all around, so you don't want to buy a house and tie yourself down. That makes a lot of sense. And you're finding yourself, but at the same time, you're flipping cars in different states. You're flipping cars on vacation in Hawaii, and then when you came back home to pay for the trip, I assume.
Yeah. And we were even thinking about flipping a car up here. We weren't able to find one that was easily flippable while I was still here. But that's something we were looking into, which would have been my first international flip.
We were so close. We reached out to like 15 different people on Kijiji and a little bit on Facebook Marketplace. But all of the cars here, some of the challenges around safety and e-testing, and I don't think we dug hard enough to find a really good deal. We found one that was not bad, but we just didn't pursue it. We were busy moving and stuff, and so I think next time Max comes down and I host him at my house, we're going to do a car flip for you guys. We're going to film it. We're going to do it here in Canada, even where there's safety tests and all this, strict regulation.
Compared to Indiana, which is more lax, you don't have to have a safety test on each car. And if you want to follow my channel, you can see a lot of flips because I hope to be posting content based around that.
Yeah, honestly, check it out. If you guys are interested in maybe you're 16, maybe you're 17, 18 years old. Hey, maybe you're 35 and you're like, you know what? I could flip a car. I could go buy a car for $1,000 and flip it for $2,000.
Yeah.
I could follow the principles here. We just proved that it was possible. We went on Kijiji and found some potentials where we could make. There was a few where we could make $500 or $700 or $800, but the margins are very tight. And I just, we got busy with the move.
Super busy.
We didn't pull the trigger on it. But next time Max is down and I host him, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a flip for you guys and prove that you can just flip a car anywhere in the world.
And we have the Vegas entrepreneurial experience coming up next month, or a month and a half from now. And
November 10th and 11th.
We're thinking about possibly flipping a car in Vegas as well when we're both down there.
Yeah. So we're going to do the Vegas Mastermind. Check out Matt McKeever and Jeff Wybos. They're putting this mastermind on. So it's their mastermind. It's going to be really cool, though. We're both really excited to be there. It's going to be 60 people. They're renting out this boutique hotel. So it's going to be a really cool experience.
Hotel.
Yeah, it's going to be super cool. I've seen a lot of the pictures. I'm really excited for it. But we're going to try to do a flip there. So for me, that'll be an international flip. Yep. So that'll be kind of cool in Vegas if we can do that. And if I road trip down there, which I might do, I might drive down there. Maybe I could buy a car here, drive down there, sell it there, and then flip one there.
And then drive it home.
I have to look into the legalities of selling a Canadian car in Vegas, but I guess anything's possible in Vegas.
Yeah. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
What happens in Vegas?
Drive it down, it's got to stay there.
That's right. That's right. What else? Anything else? Parting words? Any parting words or pieces of advice for someone who might be looking to flip their first car? Maybe they're interested in flipping real estate, but they're just not there yet. They're maybe too young. They don't have the income to qualify for a mortgage or just something like that. Because a lot of the skills are transferable, right? You can flip a car, you can flip a house, I think.
Yeah, I would say take action. Even if you end up losing a couple $100 on your first flip, the knowledge and experience that you'll gain will be invaluable. So definitely do that.
Do you want to drop your Instagram too in there?
Yeah. So you can follow me as well on Instagram at maxckark.
Cool. Thanks for coming on the channel, and I hope the viewers get some value from this. If you have questions about flipping cars, drop it in the comments. We would be happy to. Max is going to jump on there. I always answer every single question in the comments. Always there. Say, hey, Mike, I want to get into real estate investing, but I want to start with flipping cars. What do you think about this or that? Yeah, just drop any questions you want to see a future video. Happy to do that as well. And if you like this video, I would love a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. It's right there.
Bell.
And then the notification bell. The little subscribe button is right there in the video. You're going to see a little watermark. Click it. Click subscribe and then go down to the subscribe button at the bottom and click the notification bell. Then you'll get notified when I drop future videos. So I'd much appreciate that. And I'm going to keep dropping content. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I go live every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. for the Wise Wealth Show.
Yep. Fantastic show. I'm sure he'll have way more awesome guests on, so you have to subscribe to Mike if you're not already.
Hey, I appreciate that, Max.
And as Mike always says, spend less, earn more, and maximize returns.
I love that. He's already got my catchphrase at the end.
Yeah.
My outro. You know it, guys. Spend less, earn more, and maximize returns in that order. This guy's following that. And
there we go.
Max, we're going to put a link in the description. Check out his channel. I'm excited to see in 3 years, you're going to be a millionaire?
Yeah.
3 years from now today, he's going to be a millionaire. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. Spend less, earn more, and maximize your returns to unlock a wealthier you. Cheers, guys.